Good morning, children. Today we are moving on to the last portion of this lesson. So far we were discussing about dispersion of light. Dispersion of light means the light splits up into its component colors. Now we have to discuss about scattering of light. As the word says, scattering of light is when light passes through the particles in the atmosphere. When light passes through the atmosphere, it gets hit on the particles, that is dust particles, moisture, etc. And light gets hit on these particles, and due to this hitting, there will be a change in the direction of the light. So, the light is scattered everywhere. We have studied light travels in straight line. But even though light travels in straight line, we get light inside the rooms all there, isn't it? That is because of this scattering. The light, when travels through the atmosphere, it hits on the different particles of the atmosphere and undergoes irregular reflection. That is, it undergoes reflection in all directions and light is scattered everywhere. So scattering is the process of distribution of sunlight by hitting on the tiny particles of the atmosphere by irregular reflection of light. So there is an activity given in your textbook. Water is taken in a beaker and a beam of light is allowed to pass through the water, and that light is focused on a screen on the other side. If sodium thiosulfate is added in the rate of 2 grams per 1 liter of water, that is 2 grams of sodium thiosulfate is added to 1 liter of water, and 1 or 2 drops of hydrochloric acid is added. You might have studied in 8th standard. When hydrochloric acid is added to the solution, sulfur particles are precipitated. Then pass the torchlight through the solution. So since sulfur particles are precipitated, the tiny sulfur particles scatter the light that is coming through it. So due to this scattering, blue color is first scattered, or blue color is first spread on the solution. Then after that, all the colors will be appearing there. So first blue color is scattered, and finally and lastly red color emerges out of the solution. So as we keep the solution undisturbed for a long time, the size of the sulfur particles become larger. As the size of the sulfur particles become larger, the scattering will be almost the same for all the colors, and the solution will appear in ash or grey color. So, firstly, when the size of the sulfur particles is very small, scattering is more for blue color, and eventually after scattering, red light undergoes less scattering and red light comes out of the solution. All the other colors which have less wavelength will scatter, and red having greater wavelength will not suffer so much scattering and it will come out of the solution. So the important thing that we have to study is the colors which have shorter wavelength will be scattered the most, and the colors with longer wavelength have less scattering. Another thing is, as the size of the particles increases, the scattering will be almost same for all the particles, and the color will be ash or grey in color. This explains why the atmosphere above huge factories are always ash in color, because the atmosphere above huge factories will be contaminated with large particles, isn't it? So as the size of the particles increases, the rate of scattering for light will almost be the same, and so the atmosphere above factories will appear grey in color. Then the same activity defines why sky is appearing as blue color. Why sky is appearing as blue color? when sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the colors of light which have shorter wavelength, that is violet, indigo, blue, etc., undergoes more scattering, and it is scattered all over the sky, and so the sky appears blue in color. And this also explains why the rising sun and setting sun appears red in color. Why the rising sun and setting sun appears red in color? During sunrise or sunset, sun is at a very far distance from us. So the shorter wavelength light, such as violet, indigo, blue, undergoes scattering, and the longer wavelength red reaches, or the longer wavelength red travels a long distance and reaches our eyes. So during sunrise, sunlight has to, during sunrise, the sunrise is not at the same time for everywhere in the earth. So those parts in which the sun is rising, the sunlight has to travel long distances. So the shorter wavelength light will be scattered somewhere on places on the earth, and the longer wavelength red light travels a longer distance and reaches the places where the sun is about to rise or the sun is about to set. So long as the wavelength increases, the rate of scattering also decreases. This explains why the signal lights and the tail lamps are all given red color, because red travels greater distances without scattering, or red color has less scattering due to the high wavelength. Next, what we have to study is Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is when light passes through a colloid or a solution, or a suspended solution, then the tiny particles in that colloid gets illuminated with the passing of sunlight. This phenomenon is known as Tyndall effect. What is Tyndall effect? When sunlight passes through a colloidal solution or a colloid, the tiny particles in that colloid gets illuminated by the passing of sunlight, and this effect is known as Tyndall effect. Then the intensity of scattering depends on the size of the particles. As the size increases, the intensity of scattering also increases. You might have seen that beam of light which comes through the glass patches on your old houses. That is all about Tyndall effect. Then comes photopollution. Photopollution or light pollution is a pollution caused due to the excessive use of this light. So that is given in your textbook. You can read it. That is, there are many ill effects of this photopollution. That is, the life of several species will be damaged due to the excessive use of light. Moreover, the temperature of Earth gets increased. There are many ill effects of this light pollution, and in your textbook there is a day given there. International Dark Sky Association is an association which deals with the task of reducing photopollution. So every year, the week of the new moon in April is celebrated as International Dark Sky Week. So that is all about photopollution. Photopollution is how will you reduce the photopollution is also given there. Use minimum amount of light bulbs. Switch off all the bulbs that are not in use, etc. Some of the methods that you can adopt to reduce the photopollution. So this brings to the end of this lesson. Next class we will discuss the next lesson. Thank you.